This might be the most serious Chinese four-wheel drive Australia has seen yet. It's called the Denza B5. Denza is BYD's luxury brand, so think Toyota and Lexus, except almost nobody in this country has heard of it yet. It's a plug-in hybrid, it makes 400 kilowatts, it'll do 0 to 100 in 4.8 seconds, it's got low range and locking diffs, and it costs about the same as a mid-spec Prado. So is this the one that finally makes people rethink the diesel four-wheel drive? Let's find out. If you're new here, we're The Beat. We review new cars for Australian buyers. No fluff, no press release waffle. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Two variants, and the difference between them matters. The entry car is $74,990 before on roads. The B5 Leopard is $79,990. In driveaway terms, you're looking at roughly $82,000 for the base car and around $87,000 for the Leopard. That $5,000 gap buys you hydraulic suspension, Napa leather, ventilated rear seats, 20-inch wheels, and a digital rear-view mirror. Here's my advice: buy the Leopard. The suspension isn't a nice to have, it changes how the car rides. And it's what gets you the headline 310 mils of ground clearance. Skip it, and you're getting a good car instead of an impressive one. For context, a Prado GXL is about the same money. The Lexus GX, with a comparable feature list, is $40,000 north of it. Presence isn't something you can tick a box for, and the B5 has plenty of it. Short overhangs, a square body, tall enough to make the Prado look slightly apologetic in a car park. The spare's mounted on the tailgate, the glasshouse is flat and upright, and the whole thing looks like it was designed by people who knew exactly what they were doing. There's none of the fussy detail that lets so many Chinese SUVs down. Nothing looks borrowed from Europe either. One note on wheels, the base car's 18s in chunky rubber arguably suit the shape better than the Leopard's 20s, which look great right up until you leave the bitumen. Inside is where Denza really goes for it. Leather covers almost everything. The front seats are heated, ventilated, and massaging as standard. There's a fridge in the center console that also heats. A 16-speaker stereo, panoramic roof, head-up display. And it feels real. The leather's properly soft, the switchgear on the console looks expensive, and nothing creaked or rattled while we had it. That's a level up from where BYD was 2 years ago. But you can still tell where it came from. The stalks, the window switches, the wheel buttons, they're straight off cheaper BYDs. The software on the screens is functional rather than special. In a $150,000 car, that'd be a problem, but at this money, it's a fair trade. The digital rearview mirror is close to useless in daylight because of reflections off the screen, but you can flick it back to the normal mirror in a second, but then the spare tyre's in the way. Practically, it's strong up front and mixed at the back. Because there's no prop shaft running the length of the car, the rear floor is completely flat. That makes the middle seat properly usable instead of a punishment. And the outboard seats get heating and ventilation in the Leopard. The boot's the weak point. 470 litres with the seats up is modest for something this size. The side hinged tailgate is brilliant in a tight garage and a nuisance when you're loading from the curb. Hit the starter and nothing happens. That takes some getting used to. The B5 wakes up in EV mode and stays there. You pull it out of the driveway on electricity, the gear selector rises out of the console like a magic trick, and there's no diesel clatter at all. Then you meet the lag. Despite 400 kilowatts and 760 newton meters, there's a real pause between your right foot and any forward motion. You'll notice it most trying to slot into a gap in traffic. It's the one flaw that never stops being annoying. But once it wakes up, the shove is ridiculous. 0 to 100 in 4.8 seconds in a 3-ton ladder frame wagon is a joke that doesn't get old. Refinement's the real achievement here. In hybrid mode, the 1.5-litre petrol engine spends most of its life generating rather than driving. And it's so well isolated you barely notice it working. Next to a diesel Prado at highway speed, the difference isn't subtle. Ride quality on the Leopard's hydraulic suspension is the best in class, and it's not close. Still recognisably body on frame, still the odd shimmy over sharp joins, but it stays flat where a Prado bobs about. Corners are another story. The steering's accurate enough, but tells you nothing, and there's a heavy inert feeling through directional changes that no clever damping can hide. Drive it briskly, and it goes along with it. Drive it enthusiastically, and it politely declines. Off-road, the hardware's genuine. Low-range, mechanical front and rear locking diffs, 90 mils of ride height adjustment, 790 mils of weighting depth. There are also 16 drive modes, which is about 11 more than anybody needs. Rock, sand, mud, and the creep function do real work. Low range and the lockers do more. The rest are there so somebody could put a number on a brochure. Traction control's slower to sort itself out than a Toyota's, and the Leopard's road tyres give up early. But with the lockers in, it climbs loose, rocky stuff without any drama. Whether anyone actually takes it off-road is a different question entirely. Claimed electric range is 90 k's. Real world, you'll see something between 70 and 88, which is honest by plug-in hybrid standards. Charge it every night and a suburban commute costs you almost nothing. Don't charge it and the whole argument falls apart. Below 25%, the B5 locks into hybrid mode and hauls 3 tonnes around on a small battery. Expect around 7 litres per 100 on the highway and well past 11 when it's working. That's diesel Prado territory. It'll take 100 kilowatts DC, which is quick for a plug-in hybrid, 25 to 80% in under 20 minutes. Ownership's a genuine strength. 6 years, 150 Ks on the vehicle, 8 years on the battery, servicing every 12 months or 20,000 Ks, which is twice as long as a Prado, and $3,220 over 5 years, which undercuts Toyota. No AdBlue either. 5 stars from ANCAP, tested in 2025. 86% for adult occupation protection, 95% for children. 11 airbags, 360-degree camera, adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, front and rear cross traffic alert, all standard. The calibration's a mixed bag. Lane keeping is one of the better systems BYD has done, and you can turn the overspeed chime off permanently, which deserves a round of applause. The driver attention monitor does not. It nags you when you're plainly watching the road, it takes personal offense at sunglasses, and turning it off means going through the touchscreen every single time you start the car. It's the most fixable complaint on this list, and it needs fixing. The Toyota Prado is the target, half the power, a fraction of the equipment. But a dealer on every second corner and 40 years of proof it'll still be running in 2040. If certainty is what you're buying, nothing here changes that. The Ford Everest is the better drive of the traditional options, and it's the pick if you tow regularly, because the Denza's weight ratings become a real problem. On that, the B5 is rated to tow 3-tonne braked, but the payload is only 490 kgs in the Leopard, and it runs out of combination mass long before you've loaded the family in behind a big van. If you tow at capacity, this isn't your car. The GWM Tank 500 plug-in is the closest rival in philosophy, and it undercuts the B5 on price. It's bigger and it seats 7, but it's not near the Denza for interior quality, drivetrain polish, or ride. Value, 5 out of 5. Luxury equipment for mainstream four-wheel drive money, and nothing else does it. Tech, 5 out of 5. The drivetrain engineering is genuinely impressive. Comfort, 4 out of 5. Best ride in class, let down slightly by the throttle. Practicality, 3 out of 5. Great rear seat, small boot, and those weight ratings. Driving, 4 out of 5. Absurdly quick, beautifully refined, no fun in the corners. Safety, 4 out of 5. 5 stars, one very annoying monitor. Overall, 8 out of 10. So I came into this review expecting a spec sheet with a badge on it. That's not what this is. The Denza B5 is a properly engineered vehicle. It rides better than a Prado. It's faster than anything in the class has a right to be. It's cheaper to run, and it's stuffed with gear you'd normally pay Lexus money for. The compromises are real, but they're specific, not general. If this is where Chinese four-wheel drives are heading, everybody else should be paying very close attention. So who's it for? If you were shopping a Toyota Prado GXL and you've quietly stopped caring about diesel, go and drive one. Buy the Leopard. Walk away if you tow at capacity or need a serious payload. And be honest with yourself about one thing nobody can answer yet, which is what the drivetrain looks like at 20,000 Ks. Nobody's been there. If the Denza B5 is on your list, head to thebeep.com.au and we'll find you a deal on one. Links in the description. And if this was useful, subscribe. We've got way more of these coming.